for next time. Hello and welcome to the first episode, but it's not the first episode. This is the 0 episode of Rituals and Roles, unless we rename it during the course of this broadcast, which may happen. This will be the ArchaeoRPG collective, ArchaeoRPG collectives live play tabletop role-playing game. I'm Bill, Archeo Thoughts. I am the Dungeon Master and I'll let everyone else introduce their IRL persons, because during the course of this show, we'll find out who their actual characters will be. So I'll leave the floor to the rest of you.
Not
I'll
it.
go first again. I'm Tom. I work in Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I am been doing CRM for CRM archaeology, cultural resource management archaeology. Words. I've been doing this for about just under 9 years now, I think. I work for a firm based out of Northern Virginia. I'm a field director for them. Dungeons & Dragons is a fairly new actual playing thing for me, and I think this will be a pretty cool tool for outreach and getting people interested in what archaeology is and how it works. Somebody else go.
My name is Serra. I am an archaeologist. I'm terrible at intros. I am a CRM archaeologist. That basically means I do the same thing as Tom does, but I think he's more important than I am. And the reason I'm drawn to doing this kind of an RPG thing is because I spend a lot of time thinking about the intersection and the use of archaeology with pseudo-archaeology. I'm also like a second generation gamer. I've been playing D&D since I was like old enough to roll dice and not chew on them. And yeah, this is just like the logical conclusion of my life, is to sit on the internet and play a game that is meant to be played at a table in face-to-face ways using Google Hangouts.
Nice.
This is the world we live in now.
This is my life. It's the internet.
All right, so are you all done?
Yes, I'm done. Thank you, Amma. Yes, I'm done.
No, I didn't want to interject and overlap and cut you off. I was trying to be respectful, not sassy. I apologize. Excellent. All right, so I am Amma, and I am a first-year PhD student at Hokkaido University in Japan, and I am studying the relationship between archaeologists and the public. So my background is primarily academic, as opposed to all the CRM specialists here, and I am also an artist on the side, and I have been a bit of a gamer for a while now. I can't really recall when things really took off, but I'm really excited to be able to use art and games to kind of talk about what it is that we all do.
All right, and I guess we come back to me. I'm Bill. I'm Archeo Thoughts on the old Twitter machines and other places, and I'm also a contract archaeologist working in the Mid-Atlantic area. Now, my gaming history is I started playing Dungeons & Dragons in middle school, which means it was Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, and then second edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, which nowadays are just called first edition, second edition. Then it took a 25-year break from playing Dungeons & Dragons, and about a year and a half ago, I started getting the bug again to get back into this. I kind of be sort of coming back as an older gamer. I always had the knowledge that it's kind of hard to get friends together like you could when you were 15. But now that we live in this wonderful world of the internet, I can get my virtual friends. Well, they are my friends and they are virtual.
Are we though?
I've met you, so I know you really exist.
Damn it.
So we're doing this now. Now, the purpose of us isn't, we are playing Dungeons and Dragons. In fact, our very first campaign is going to be a published campaign from 2017, Tomb of Annihilation. So we are strictly diving right in deep into the D&D waters with our first campaign. But that's not all we're doing. There's a reason we're all archaeologists here. That reason is to use to sort of examine Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop role-playing games in general under the lens of what is called archaeogaming. It's a relatively new sort of subfield of archaeology, which looks at the archaeology of games, the history, and as games themselves as a material, but also archaeology in games, and how archaeology is being used and reflected within the gaming world. So hopefully, during the course of this campaign, we will have the opportunity to sort of do both those things in this. Now, our gameplays will be fun D&D gameplay, but if you are a fan of Still Digging, our other show here on the ArchaeoRPG channel, plug. You got to learn how to plug. We are also in the business of sort of taking critical looks at these sort of genre media, and we'll be doing the exact same thing with our campaign. It won't be necessarily during the actual gameplay, but there will be another platform where we are going to sort of take a more critical look at what we're doing. And I think I've explained it, but please, I'll let my esteemed colleagues sort of either correct or add upon what sort of our goal is here.
We have a goal.
I mean, kind of.
Well, as a DM, my goal is to kill the party. TPK episode 1.
Obviously,
especially with your goal. Your goal should be to tell an engaging and interesting story
by killing the party in episode 1.
That implies that
we need to have like 6 characters ready to go.
You can't win at gaming.
I mean, to be fair, the game is called Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah.
If my character isn't getting annihilated, I don't know what I'm here for.
I think it's just the threat of annihilation. Now, Call of Cthulhu, I would expect to die at least once. Like, I was very disappointed that I didn't die in my Cthulhu game.
Now,
if you want to really dive into this archaeo gaming thing, though, I don't know if this is true, but I heard some theories about the Tomb of Annihilation is supposed to be. I got my copy too.
Competing copies. Yours upside down.
Digital. Neener, I had it before both of you. That's right.
I lost my spot.
You're talking about how Tomb of Annihilation is potentially a meat grinder.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like, it's supposed to be like an archaeological essentially an archaeological version of the Tomb of Horrors. Now, I don't know if this is true, but that was kind of the impression that I was getting.
I got Tomb of Horrors. Tomb of Horrors, sorry.
Interesting.
Which is an AD&D?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a classic Gygax module.
Yeah. Which is, I think, is kind of cool.
We can talk about Gygax and his love-hate relationship with archaeology.
We will get back to that, though. You're dodging here because our purpose tonight is to build some character.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
42.
So party construction and a little bit into this archaeo gaming stuff. Do we want to go with like each of the characters as some like archaeologist trope? Does that make sense?
No, because I don't want to play a trope. I mean, I'm probably going to end up playing one, but I don't really want to.
I mean, should at least one person be an archaeologist background? Yes. Do all 3 need to be such? No.
I want Tomog to have an archaeologist background because I want Tomog to do archaeology.
Well, am I playing Tomog?
I don't know, but I like Tomog, but of course, I like Tomog because it's the only character of yours I've interacted with. So
we're making references to the characters we played in our home campaign before we decided to bring this to the internet. Each of the 3 here had characters in that campaign, and we were playing the Lost Mines of Phandelver. If anyone's familiar with the current D&D 5th edition starter kit, We made it to about 3rd level. We hadn't actually rescued anyone yet, and we were nowhere near the mines. However, I've given all the players here the option that they could be the same characters. We're going to start Tomb of Annihilation at level 5. This is the inside nerdy stuff for our real D&D fans out there who aren't here for the archaeology. Who want to see some D&D action going.
There will be D&D.
There will be D&D. So let you know, we're going to start the campaign at level 5. We're going to try to do most of this stuff. So hopefully this should be the beginning should be a cakewalk for the party.
Hopefully.
No expectations being set right here.
Coming from the guy who damn near killed us the first time we had our brand new characters out the box.
Well, to be fair, Tomog, Tom's character, decided to go chase a would-be assassin by himself in the middle of the night on his very first night as an adventurer.
No, he did kill me that time.
My point.
So I just left you, face down in a sewer with 1 hit point and all your gear stripped off you.
I was trying to give him a hug.
That why you're always naked. Oh.
See, I missed all this, so this is backstory even for me.
Yeah.
That was like a one-off because Bill and I were free, but nobody else was in the campaign, and we were like, we want to get this started. So do you want to just do a quick one or like a little one-shot deal? And that's what we came up with.
So it's basically like, go to the bar, get some information, maybe have a minor encounter. No, I'm going to chase the assassin into a sewer, which is only 4 feet tall. Mind you, he was playing a Goliath.
And I refused to use my weapon. I was trying to grab him so I could question him.
Right, he kept trying to grab the question rather than actually attack.
It was not a good choice.
And the assassin, of course, was a rogue, a smaller rogue who had full mobility with poison blades.
Poor Tomog.
It did not go well.
It did not end well.
So yes. So before we got on stream, we were sort of briefly talking about things like this, and I've let the crew know that they're under no obligation to bring those same characters into this campaign. These could be a different group of characters who are level 5, or maybe one from that other one. If someone really has their heart attached to the one character they've really grown to, bring that person on this adventure, and we will see what their further adventures are. If you were like, I really want to try this, then do that.
I built RNL because I thought the game was just going to carry over. So that's why I'm sticking with RNL, because honestly, RNL's the character I wanted to play. So now that we're actually going to be doing this shit, also I'm like fascinated with this bard thing. So
okay, well, give us a little brief description of RNL to sort of give a hint to our audience who to expect RNL to be. Now there's one. You've forgotten, there is going to be one benefit of using RNL as opposed to somebody else.
Which is
the party MVP.
Oh, do I get to keep Wolfie?
Oh, right.
Mascot, yes.
We do need the mascot.
We need mascot.
He might not be as vital anymore. Because he's not really leveling up the same level.
I was gonna say, can we level Wolfie? Can he become a PC?
I'm still looking at that. When you have a pet,
I understand if he's like not the same level as us, but like surely he becomes like a better wolf, I guess. Better dire killer wolf.
Do familiars level?
He's not really a familiar. Like he's
just kind of a wolf friend.
Right.
Yeah, we just kind of befriended him, and I feel like he took pity on us and just.
I gotta look at like rangers with their pet.
Better than all of us.
He really is.
Beastmasters, whether or not they're like with the pets that rangers have, and if there's a mechanic in there, we can maybe transfer over. So we have them on. So another spoiler one here on the screen. Here we have our very artistic Amma has drawn some screen characters of the ones from the previous campaign. We have Tomog with his hammer. And we have the yet to be named Drow. I'll leave that honor to you.
Awesome. I joined a lot later in the campaign. I joined because you guys needed a rogue to join the party. And
we needed a rogue badly.
We did need a rogue.
And it's funny because I'm not a very offensive player. Like even when I'm playing video games, like when I was playing Breath of the Wild, I was the one skirting every single battle I possibly could. So the rogue I saw as a bit of a challenge for myself. But since playing him, I've really enjoyed it, actually. And the reason why I haven't named the baby yet is just because I'm thinking about leaning into a few things that I developed with the character, and so it would be like an iteration of that character, but maybe not the exact same. If that makes sense.
No, we can definitely leave surprises for episode 1. So we can go through as much as you want to in this sort of like building phase, but
can I just fill some of this shit out with this bullshit like under organizations? Can I just make up an organization?
Yeah, I mean, we can go through some of the.
Too late, done.
Now you have to have a story for that organization. You need to let me know what that organization is, so that maybe someday someone from that organization will meet you.
You can just go look at my character sheet. Almighty God.
Girl Scouts of America comes knocking.
Would you like to buy some cookies? No.
You know what? I'm going to take the Scouts, the Girl Scouts from Welcome to Night Vale. You know, the Liberation Army version.
Yeah. I'm into this.
I don't know if I can get 19 pages of backstory in this little box here, though. So I may have to just email it to you.
This is too many.
I think my problem with RNL is I haven't actually sat down to flesh like the character out. I was just really interested in playing the class.
Let's talk about two like interesting
together.
Two interesting. I mean, there's RNL is a very interesting character because she's
I like RNL a lot.
She's what's the name of the race again? It's the
Asimir?
She's the Asimir, which are sort of touched by the.
I guess I can tell you guys. Like, I kind of wanted it to be kind of a surprise and all that, but yeah.
No. If you other surprise stuff, keep surprise. We'll just send that to me.
It's too late now, man. Cat's out.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're already Asimir, so.
Well,
Asimar?
If after this point you haven't figured out she's a human with dark vision.
That's true. She does look like a normal human. And then she can like talk to everything.
Well, let's skip that part of her and let's talk about her patron.
Cthulhu.
Basically, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the great old one. It's their way of saying Cthulhu mythos.
I was gonna say where is that exactly? Where is that? Is that under my abilities? It literally is called like the old one, I think.
Yeah, the great old one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is actually a little bit. Do we want to fit?
Well, one of her skills, like one of the reasons I was really hoping to level her, is one of her skills is literally I drive you mad.
Yeah. Now, some of this stuff can definitely be if someone has been adventuring with her since level 1, they're kind of going to know most of the stuff by now. By level 5, you kind of know who the person is.
I figure they would have figured some of it out.
Someone coming in brand new maybe has no idea what's going on.
Are you gonna bite my foot? Yes, you will. You're such a good boy.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, level 5 gives you some real breathing room. By level 5, these classes are really beginning to come into their own. You can really begin to sort of flex the class muscle. By this point, you've sort of have moved on from just let's go kill some goblins to maybe we can save a town.
Wait, what? I thought we were just here to burn things.
Well, how do you save a town? Sometimes you have to burn it to the ground to save it.
See, that's the problem, Ahmed. I don't know anything about RNL. I literally built RNL because I like the name and I wanted to see what this class, this race, and now I want to add Bard to it. She has no background. I need to work on that. I need to make her a real person.
Also, to be fair, for everyone watching, the first real episode is not coming until September. This is our sort of planning phases. We're going to try to work on all this stuff during August. I'll be working on trying to read the book, as well as some more technical stuff, especially since YouTube is taking away the Hangouts that we use to broadcast our shows here on August 1st. So... Arnell is a mystery.
to me as well. I'm sorry. I know that's lame, but it's the truth. I don't even know what her family is. Like, was she born or did she hatch?
I meant more of like a physical description because I've got this little empty box here in my window, and I thought, well, while you guys are talking, I could always just doodle you.
Well, her two defining
That's
traits
what I look like. I look like a
is
question mark.
a wolf mascot.
Wolf.
and-
There's an L in that word.
Roof. I'm too close to Baltimore, okay? And
Woof.
when she does her Eldritch magic, it comes out in teal and fuchsia.
It's fabulous.
All her
Teal
Eldritch
and fuchsia.
teal and fuchsia is her Eldritch blast.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I think there's like a little tiny. I picked like the most average looking picture for her icon because
On the D&D Beyond.
yeah,
Mm.
she's just average looking. I don't know.
So-
Maybe I should make her fun.
Unassuming.
Maybe I should give her purple hair or something. Yeah, she's unassuming. She just like she could walk into anywhere and just be like, "Yes, I exist here. That I've always existed here. This is what I do."
This
Oh
is the
darn! I
opposite
was
of
expecting she'd be a
podcast.
little more goth. So so her physical appearance is not quite as goth. I was imagining full goth.
All right, she's 5th level. She can be full goth now. Sure,
She's leveled up into the goth.
she's leveled up into goth.
Even the mascot now has black mascara.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Oh, also, if I don't know if I mentioned this yet, this beautiful artwork behind me is also by Amma. Thank you very much.
No, I doodled that up really quickly last night. I promise to do something a little bit more polished for.
Yeah, well, that's part of August for all of us. Names of the show, an actual look, an official logo.
My musical instrument is bagpipes.
Maybe get
I'm done.
maybe get a Patreon set up by then for all those who wish to help us with all these endeavors.
Wow, I don't actually have a lot of choices. It's a swan.
So since we are playing in D&D and in the Forgotten Realms, a lot of the Forgotten Realms backstory and lore is also going to come along with us, which means also a lot of the factions in there. So things like the Emerald Enclave, the Flaming Fist, the Harpers, the Lord's Alliance, the Order of the Gauntlet, the Red Wizards of Thigh, the also I'm going to butcher every one of these names. I hate these made-up names. The Atepka Society, Zentamri. They're all going to exist in this world, and you're all going to interact with them in one way or another. Some of them we were familiar with from the previous campaign. I think the Harpers and the Lord's Alliance came up during our previous campaign.
It did.
So some of these, though, other ones may be...
Was that the guys in black?
The Lord's Alliance were the sort of super guardians. That was the...
Our Charlie.
Your Sheriff Hopper.
Oh,
As opposed to the
Gotcha.
one running the cities, Boss Hog. It's
Boss Hog.
Boss Hog.
That got like gross for a second too.
He was very gross. He was very gross.
It was
Thankfully,
weird.
we're not in Phandalin. It also means I have to work on other voices and stereotypes that will not go on to the gross thing. That's part of my August is to keep humor without going gross. Unless it's like body.
I mean,
humor.
no,
Like,
it was
if it's all
actually
body humor. Then I'm going gross.
It was gross, but it was like gross in a very good character development way.
Oh, it was totally in character. That was
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
who this person is. That gross person.
Yeah, like ugh.
Well,
I kept trying to think of ways that I could like destroy him, but not destroy him.
Kept misgendering our elf. Just a complete asshole.
Rude, just rude in general.
But I think that's the good thing about having a potential follow-up stream too is being able to sit down and talk about these things because sometimes I think we remove them for the sake of making sure that everybody is comfortable within a stream and we've had discussions in classes I've been in about the idea of trigger warnings, at least being able to bring to people and let them know that there might be unsettling content in that, but then to come and to talk about that afterwards as well so that people are both aware beforehand but that know that it's being used in a deliberate manner and being addressed afterwards as well, I think is an equally important.
Right. And that's also
way of-
growing. Sorry. And that's
no,
also
go ahead.
growing in the world of tabletop role playing game. You'll set sort of the table rules ahead of time. These are my no goes. So you go around the table and go, these are the things that I don't want to be a part of. We're not talking about this. Whether it's things like, we are not going to enact sexual assault during the broad stream.
I don't feel like that's something we really. Well, okay. Here's the point. There's your point. Yep.
But I mean, I'm using that as an example.
Nope. Your point. I know you're right. You're exactly right. I mean, I have played in games where that was not a no-go for people, and
yeah. And that's also a part of our comfort level amongst ourselves, and we also have to assume a certain comfort level of those who are going to watch us as well. So so much like in movies and TV, some things may get hinted at, and other things will be told in graphic detail, and we will sort of pick and choose. And sometimes we will probably step over because we'll get into the moment and we'll try to do what feels best for the story at that time. But then, thankfully, we have these sort of other show where we can sort of break that down and go, why we did that, and maybe what could have done differently, and also why that was maybe problematic to begin with. So yes, the other stream is for the full. We are going to deconstruct Dungeons and Dragons from the inside out.
Take it apart.
So first we have to get inside, and then we're tearing it apart. There you go. That's my Derrida for the day.
I think that's interesting though. Like,
Okay, so we got our first question on the board from Kara.
Hello,
Hi.
Kara.
Oh, I know her.
Hi. Once you start the campaign in September, how often do y'all plan to for these sessions?
That is a legitimate
good question. When we were first planning this out, the idea was to do a single session per month and then to distribute it as a podcast, hour-long podcast, like a single 4-hour session once a month with a hour-long podcast that would be distributed once a week. I'm now leaning sort of moving away from that to maybe not necessarily a 4-hour session, an hour to hour and a half session that could maybe be once a week or maybe every other week, where we do our gameplay one week and then we come back the next week for Still Digging, where we go back and forth. And with Still Digging, there'd be no obligation for the entire crew to be there, because that's also one of our problems. Most of us are professionals, and those who aren't are in school. So our schedules are pretty busy. But we also want to keep on a regular basis so that, for you following us and watching us, you can, know it's every other Thursday at 8 p.m. or every fourth Thursday at 8 p.m. on Thursday. I need to sit down and watch the show. So does anyone have any thoughts on that?
I mean, twice a month is good. And then when I can jump in, I can jump in. But this is my last semester, so...
Yay!
Yeah, someday I'll have that magical piece of paper that says I'm a valid person.
You were valid before. Just open some more doors, that's all.
That better. There are some goddamn doors after what I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was going to say, maybe if anything, we should be aware of kind of what periods of time work well for some of the viewers as well, and kind of not necessarily do a poll, but, for example, are more people, set up and ready for Critical Role at this point, and they don't want battle fatigues, or they want to avoid watching the stream? I think there are a couple things we would definitely take into consideration in regards to who's been watching us so far put this together as well, and from here on out, what works for
like if Thursday doesn't work, maybe it's Wednesday, maybe it's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I always, I picture ourselves right now as we're the kickoff show to Critical Role. You watch us fools, and then when you watch Critical Role, you'll appreciate it that much more.
Do they know that we're their kickoff show? Are they okay with this?
I mean, probably not.
And how many other streams have that same idea?
I would.
Hey, we're cooler. We're archaeologists.
You know what? I also have not done competition research, adversarial research yet. So I haven't checked our competition. I should be looking at Twitch a little more. see who's broadcasting on what nights. But it's just really about what our audience wants, because if you want us to watch it, that's when we're going to be here. And I'm liking the every other week idea. I was also thinking of trying to keep it like 2 hours or under, as sort of a way to go. That way we can stay within this sort of 8 to 10 East Coast U.S. time.
I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to have worked for us, at least recently.
Yeah.
And that's a good way for sort of planning purposes. So when I'm plotting things out, I sort of have an idea of when to sort of, not guide you to a place, but to sort of see see if there's any place on the horizon for a natural write-off point, which could be a few minutes before 2 hours, or maybe 2 hours, 10 minutes, where a good natural stopping point will be. But it'll give me a time to go, I need to start looking for an ending point at this point. So yeah, I think we are leaning towards every other week, a 2-hour show, with the in-between weeks being Still Digging. And that one, Still Digging, is still in its infancy right now. It sort of began as we weren't getting many gameplay sessions in place, but we would come online together and talk for about 2 hours. And then it was like, why don't we just stream this?
It was definitely one of those, hey, this conversation was pretty good and people might be interested in it. I think it was actually, we started talking about kind of the differences in our experiences based on region and how community archaeology works here because of some of the nonprofit stuff I do, and then Alma's work in Japan, and how similar in some ways and vastly different they are in others. And it was a very good conversation. I'm glad that we started doing this.
Mm-hmm. I just like talking about this kind of stuff. I love seeing the intersection of it.
And we'll see how it goes, because I'm also liking Still Digging because of sort of the other conversations that sort of go outside of just gameplay and into the world of archaeology itself. Like we had a really good discussion about sort of public archaeology and the discussion over volunteers and so forth like that, which seems good on that place and not necessarily for a platform like this here. So maybe it needs something separate, but we're still workshopping all this stuff. All right. There is no vast team of consultants. We don't have a room full of writers putting us together. The entire ArchaeoRPG collective is the 4 of us that you can see.
We could fill a room. Small room. Here's a question then. If we are just, how much of the stuff do we want to kind of try to incorporate into the gameplay? I'm assuming some, because we do want to address archaeology into in the stream, and topics they're related.
I think some characters.
Excuse me, sorry, guys.
That's no problem. All characters, in some way or other, should at least have a background of an anthropology background of some kind in their back of their minds. Basically, they took a 101 class in college, so they have a basic understanding of sort of anthropology and sort of the idea of culture, and what makes culture and so forth like that. So when they are looking at their world, they're seeing culture through their eyes. At least one of the characters should be, someone a little more focused, an archaeologist who's not just looking at culture, but is looking at the intersection of culture, the material culture of a place, and is more cognizant of sort of the other things being played out here. The potential for imperialism, colonialism, the sort of relations of labor within these structures. Not all these things have to be articulated as if we were all doing a paper presentation at the SHA, Society of Historical Archaeology. They can be done in the language of a barbarian who just looks around and notices the way people are working around here doesn't look fair.
Okay.
And we
well,
go.
Here's I guess the kind of the question I was trying to get at here was, do we want to set this up as we are a field team, or do we want to set this up as or we just happen to have this background and we are an adventuring party general.
Your specific setup, I'm saving for episode 1.
Okay.
As far as like what puts you on the course of this one, we're not talking about that today.
Well, I guess are we trying to be like a team that is put together, or are we trying to be just some people that happen to be heading the same direction?
That is definitely something you guys can talk about right now. Like how do you guys know each other? So when you are brought together by this patron in episode 1, is this the first time you're seeing each other? Do you know each other by reputation? Have you done an odd job with each other in the past? Or are you a cohesive like working party who's been working together for a couple years?
If we're using Aranel and Tomag again, I think I'm fine with us at least being.
Are you gonna play Tomahawk for real?
I mean, yeah.
Yay! Yeah, we can be like buddies.
So are you doing the multi-class?
Yes. I was gonna
multi-classing thing, yeah.
So Tomag is basically the Hyde to me. He's the catharsis version of me.
Oh, Tomag.
So I built him as a Goliath barbarian, and I'm gonna multi-class to druid, so we have some heals.
Which is fully in line with the story you were telling in the previous campaign.
Right. I figured that's a pretty easy transition. So I started him out with the barbarian, and when it came to level 3, you had to pick your like path or barbarian path or whatever the nomenclature for that is. So I went with totem. So I am a level 3 bear totem, and we had a adventure where I drank a bunch of bee poison or bee venom and tripped out, and we fought a bear. And my spirit animal is now Smokey the bear. I think that has been decided.
Did we get the hair under control? Is really my question.
Okay. So part of the way Goliaths are depicted is they have a lot of like, I guess you would describe them as tribal tattoos.
They can, yes. But also though, when one takes on a path of the totem, their physical aspects change to sort of reflect the animal they've chosen. So if you pick the totem of the hawk, you might get yellow eyes at this point. If you pick totem of the wolf, you might get pointy tufts around your ears. Since Tomag picked the bear, I decided that his tattoos would have a nice soft fur on them.
It's not even a lot of tattoos though, and they're facial
furry tattoos. They're like those stickers that were fuzzy, like when you were a kid.
Yeah, it's basically like that. It's like the little fuzzy stickers. It doesn't really protrude too much. It's not like he doesn't have to comb them or anything. There's just like touch it. It just has a nice furry little patch there to touch.
Right, and some of the aesthetics I was going for, some of the background I kind of came up with for him was in the way that we're gonna address this at some point, but D&D uses races, which we all know are not real things, but they're kind of a real thing in D&D. But so Goliaths are these, they're supposed to be, oh god, I just made some connections that make it so much worse.
They have a half work problem.
No, well, kind of. So they're supposed to be half giant. And they're supposed to live like up on the mountains. In my head, he lived like up in the mountains in the north, like in the northwest. And I immediately made the connection between some of the Pacific Northwest and like Polynesian type of seafaring. Some of the art that kind of goes with that. So he's got this kind of stylistic Pacific Northwest kind of orca style, or not orca, stylized orca tattoo in addition to the facial tattoos. which now the more I'm thinking about it, the more problematic all of that. And we may have to change some of that because I don't know. That might not be cool now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, I mean, we have till September.
True.
Tomag may have grown over the past few levels. He may be a slightly different person at this time. This may be a memory of what a former Tomag used to look like, as opposed to the Tomag which is now. So this is a shadow of the past.
I mean, or we could just retcon things and
Absolutely, we can retcon the hell out of it.
Yeah, you can just.
Yeah, I mean, this is a new campaign.
You didn't see any of this.
Yeah, but the whole like giants and indigenous connection is not good. It's not a good look.
Hey, I watched that recent episode. I watched an episode of America Unearthed where he talked about the
Can we
giants.
call you?
He talks about giants.
Can we call you Denny?
Talking about giants, yes.
Can we call you Denny?
Denny?
Denny Sobin.
No. That's so much worse. It's so much worse.
Tristan, I hope you're. Tristan, I know it's the middle of the night, but I hope you're up right now because that was for you.
So terrible.
Hey, we got 5 people watching. That's pretty impressive.
I think 4 of them are us.
That's what I was a little worried about, actually. I was like, oh, I should probably.
But this will still be on there for people to catch up afterwards.
Yeah, Sarah, thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
And no, we absolutely appreciate everyone who's watching right now. So thank you.
Also, leave comments and ask us questions and stuff because the whole point is it's for engagement. So like, we want you to interact with us.
I love the hair.
Oh, good.
It's pretty cool.
I love this hair. Yes. Can he have little curls on the back of her neck though?
Like right here?
Yeah, like that.
Like a mullet style, or more like
how much party in the back?
Not a lot of party in the back, just like
just a little bit of
girl party in the back.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, like that.
Perfect.
Love it.
Okay, so that's definitely something to think about between now and then. How much you guys have known each other.
Well, Tomag and I are apparently like best buds, so.
Begrudging coworkers.
And there's also a possibility. It's been a while, so if you want to have your character has gone away, maybe hasn't seen everybody for 2 years, then sort of comes back.
With a new identity.
That is also absolutely. I mean, that could absolutely be played for laughs in episode 1 of like, hey, you look really No, we've never met. Sure.
I'm very much into that kind of angle, or if not that direct approach, having him kind of be like an on again, off again contact.
Yeah.
And the reason being is that I think even when I signed up, I kind of wanted to play him as a bit of a no pun intended gray character, or at least partial antagonist, simply because his background very much ties into the illicit antiquities trade.
But we don't know that yet.
No.
So go like this right now, you two.
I wasn't listening.
But I think that's okay because I haven't fleshed it out and I haven't said to what end he's attached to it. Right. So I think it's okay to kind of at least talk about that briefly. And plus, I put it in his character backstory, so any of you could have read that at any point in time. So,
true.
But that said, I'm okay with this, and that's why before the stream started, and Sarah, you had said something about bardic lecturer.
Oh yeah.
If there's any kind of influence involved in that, getting Ty to kind of go back or challenge his beliefs is something that I think makes for good content.
I mean, we can do that. I'm cool with it. The bard background, the bard character. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Bard actually looks really cool. Like right now, I've got level 3 warlock, and I bumped it up to level 2 bard because they're actually pretty cool at level 2.
Yeah. 5th edition really did a good job with the bard. It's made it a real standalone character. It was always sort of a goofy character. If you ever go around the D&D subreddit, there's the ongoing running joke that all bards want to do is seduce every monster out there.
No, I really think I'm going to make her like a lecturer, I also think I'm going to make them a they, but
okay,
they're going to be a lecturer. They're going to go around. That's my thing. Every night when the party goes to sleep, before they go to sleep, and rolls their D6 to get their healing going on, I'll give you that bonus, but you have to listen to my recitation of the notes that I took about the dig that day.
Please tell me your bardic your bardic inspiration always has to begin with "well, actually."
Oh no! It always starts with this one time when I was on a project. Or have you heard of Birdman?
That's a deep cut right there.
The Birdman, yeah.
In general.
Dear God, have you all met Birdman?
What?
Okay, good. I was like, that's just too much. Birdman's not that famous.
Is Birdman a real person?
Yeah, he's a real CRM archaeologist. I don't know if he's still working, but because he's like my grandfather's age.
Where does he work?
He was doing Midwest and what is this, the East Coast? Yeah, Southeast. Because that's where I ran into him all the time.
I know.
Does he go by Birdman?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, within 5 minutes, I'd be able to find at least 6 people who would know him if I just.
Especially if you ask some of the old timers, like the old timers. Yeah, everybody's met Birdman at least once. You might have met Tom. Have you met Country Bob?
That sounds more familiar.
I've heard of Country Bob.
Country Bob sharpened my first trowel for me.
Oh.
I know, it's so sweet.
No.
You know what?
No, there was a guy.
Of Country Bob now.
What'd you say?
Yeah, just for chat purposes and whatnot.
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just going to say, just go into a little bit more detail about, the names that you're listing off.
Country Bob and Birdman are just kind of legends of the field. They're older. I don't honestly know if either of them are still digging anymore. They're CRM workers, which means they're migratory field workers in archaeology. And both of them were like veterans of the field when I started working, and I'm not telling you how long ago that was, but they kind of have a reputation, both of them, for different things. Like Country Bob's just a really kind of easygoing, nice guy. He knows all kinds of shit about archaeology. Like he has, I'm not 100% sure he has a bachelor's. I think he's one of those guys that got his associates and just worked forever. Birdman, I believe, went back and at least got his master's, because the last I heard he was actually teaching.
We have another Country Bob fan on the chat. Kara is also familiar with Country Bob.
See?
Country Bob. Kara might be the one that told me about Country Bob.
Oh, so he's okay. Country Bob's still working somewhere out in the Southeast. So there you go.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen him in probably a decade, but yeah. It's just like everybody knows at least one of them.
So I've made notes, and I'm not going to guarantee this, but at some point during the campaign, there may be an NPC.
We're going to run into Country Bob and Birdman?
Yes!
There may be NPCs like that. I may also dive into some other sort of characters of the field to...
well, this is kind of what I was talking about before.
For NPC names.
This is kind of what I was talking about before. How much do we want to, like, get into those, like... tropes? Like there's always
a bard named Tom Connolly as an NPC. Have you guys worked with Tom Connolly? Oh my god, he has a Facebook fan page. I have to find this for you now. Jesus Christ, yeah, Tom Connolly.
Show us that. I've only worked on some, like I've only worked for a handful of big companies. A lot of the ones that I worked for have been a bit like little mom and pop shop kind of deals.
To go to your other question, I'm always a firm believer that any good D&D campaign is something customized to the table.
Okay. So we definitely need to get into these tropes. So what tropes do we want to go into? So like life or text, like Country Bob and Birdman.
This is going to be a D&D campaign played for archaeologists, by archaeologists, DM'd by an archaeologist. So it's going to, the whole point of having us here together is to have all this stuff bleed through, hopefully as naturally as possible. We don't necessarily have to force it all in. Hopefully our own idiosyncrasies will sort of just bleed through.
Yeah. Okay. So we got the lifers.
Yeah.
We need
the fun.
The lifers. The lifers can be fun. The lifers can also be very annoying.
I like the lifers because they always have the best stories to share at lunchtime.
They do have amazing stories, and that is a thing that can never be taken away.
No.
The over-eager greenhorns is definitely another thing that needs to, that every archaeologist who's been in the field for any amount of time has run into.
The ideologues.
Yeah, ideologues. Those who have been taken over by the Jade.
The burn up, the 8 up and burn up.
Yes, the 8 up and burn up.
Oh yeah, I know him. Sorry, we got the link to the Tom thing. I'm like,
it's
oh yeah,
Armindig, not Colin. I don't know where I was getting that from.
I'm like, oh yeah, I've met him.
Were we talking about him the other day? Because I was asking if he was related to Mike. No, I was drinking with archaeologists last weekend, and they mentioned him.
Yeah, well, he has like music and stuff. Like that just came out so wrong. He has albums, so he has like a legit fan page. I can't find his fan page though. Maybe he doesn't have it anymore. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Him and Bernie are friends. Anyway.
Okay, so to circle things back here, so this is a party that has worked together in various capacities. You obviously all had adventures near Phandalin, where you first sort of met up together. Your rogue may have gone rogue after that. But
after they burnt down a small town.
Well, it
was uninhabited.
That was more of your wizard who really bailed on you. So yeah, our campaigns of because we have been playing with archaeologists who have really tough schedules.
It's true.
We have gone through a lot of stuff. So if you are an archaeologist and you want to be maybe like do a one shot, like come on one episode or something, DM me on Twitter at ArchaeoThoughts. We'll see if we can arrange that. But there's no obligation for anything longer than that because keeping people around is a hard thing.
Yeah, I think Tom and I have stuck around the most, and Tom more than any of us. And it's just like even
I don't have.
And I have.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Sarah, I think I've played your character as much as you have.
Possibly.
Yeah, I know, but I'm still here, so ha. Take that, Megan.
Hey.
Speaking of which, go click on.
I have to be nice to her. She's doing my internship with
me.
Click
on subscribe to Digital Hammurabi. They are an awesome channel.
They are an awesome channel.
They are.
And if we could bring her back on for a guest spot, if we could bring Anne back for a one day or something, I would love to have that happen someday. But first, she needs to get that PhD, and that's what the priority is.
Damn PhDs.
Oh.
I know. It's okay.
They're just dumb letters.
Don't mean anything.
They really don't, but moving on.
But people
really,
think they do.
Once you accept they don't mean anything, it makes it getting them a lot easier. Like, yeah, someday I'm going to have a BA or I'm going to have an MA after my name. What does it mean? Nothing.
But I'm going to put it on everything.
Exactly. I paid a lot of money for those 2 letters.
It means when you're online arguing with somebody over Bigfoot, you either beat them over the head with your degree to show that you have the authority in this conversation.
I just have to pretend to be male and they just assume I do. I mean, as long as people don't know I'm female, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom.
No. I've seen some of those conversations and they are upsetting.
I'm just saying. You have seen it happen, though. That's the funny.
That's why I got in a fight with That's why I got in a fight with Scott Walker.
My favorite.
That's why we called him out.
Yeah.
Come on here.
The thing is, like, you're not even the
Challenges
person
down.
I wanted to talk to, but you started the conversation. Not me. I think this is having to do with me.
It was specifically one of his fanboys that really got on my nerves.
You're not even the person I wanted to talk to. Oh. Okay.
So now that both Tomog and RNL are going to go dual class, have you thought about, like, so Tomog, I think we were sort of working on the idea that your spirit journey, your spirit walk, when you got your totem, you're sort of continuing that walk into sort of the natural world, and taking on that one. Yep. So Sarah, have you thought about, like, what is pushing RNL to sort of take up the bard life? Is it too much of that archaeologist in her coming up?
Well, I started RNL with the archaeology background, so she's always had, or they've always had the archaeology thing. So I think I feel like taking an oratory focus for bard is just a normal extension, because on top of drawing very detailed maps for no particular reason of slices of dirt, I think she has also grown the skill of being able to just talk just forever about anything, and people find it interesting for some reason because magic.
And Amma, you're sticking with the rogue. I see you're going with the swashbuckler angle.
I initially had built Ty to be I think it was an arcane.
Right, at the time you were teasing with arcane trickster, but this can all be retconned.
Yeah, I see Ty as being a little bit more hands-on. Again, has more to do with the backstory of going in and doing what needs to be done personally rather than trusting other people. And so in that regard, I wanted to build him to be able to, get in, get his hands dirty, and get out, preferably without getting his hands dirty, because that's gross. And why? When other people can do it for you, and then you take the stuff and go. But anyway.
So this is not going to be a guarantee. But since you guys are all going to be 5th level, you would think through the course of your adventuring, you will have gotten a couple magic items by this point. What now? I've been thinking about this, and I'm still not decided yet. And we may let that be another surprise there. But what with your character and who your character is, and even the changes you've made in your character since sort of the last time you played them, what type of magic item do you think would be complementary to your player? It's no guarantee. This is like Santa Claus. He doesn't exist, so you may not get this.
I'm going to give you the same answer that I always give people. What difference does it make?
I don't know.
Why are you asking
the character plays?
Why are you asking me what I want for Christmas if you're not going to get it for me?
Well,
we might.
You might not always get what you want. But however, sometimes you might just get what you need.
All right, Shatner.
Oh.
See,
Can we avoid copyright infringement there?
That's why I was going full asymmetrical on the atonal right there.
Atonal. To the song. I don't know. I was actually kind of thinking like that, either like an endless book of notes, or I don't know. Because she's already got the book of spells.
Okay.
We've already got one.
You got your cool goggles.
I got my cool goggles. What I'm trying to think of
Those
what
are cool goggles.
what I don't know. What's a naturey thing? What's a
No, here's the thing now. Now that you've switched over to barbarian, are you still going to be someone who wields a maul, or are you going to be moving over towards a staff? Something to think about. I mean, you're technically cross trained, so you can go either way. But in terms of like, what is your signature?
I think it's still a maul. Like I don't think he would abandon his Gallagher hammer. Like
But by this point, well, even without magic weapons, you can also think about in terms of flourish. You could think of how your character looks in terms of clothing. It's changed over the time. So at that point, your maul itself, though, could look more like a druid's maul. You could now imagine this. Well, I mean, it could have elements and
Okay. Here. What he's trying to say is, Tom, you're the guy that's been walking through the forest on your transect for so long, and it's already been pre-marked for you with flagging tape. You are the guy that has been taking the flagging tape and tying it to your maul as you're going to have this fluorescent braid of flagging tape on your maul.
I have made more than one rope out of flagging tape.
Out of flagging tape, yeah. I mean, you have now tied things with the flagging tape onto your maul. It now jingles and rings as you walk.
I think an endless rope would be one of them.
Of flagging tape.
Potentially made of flagging tape. Just because I am continuously adding to the rope, that's why it's endless.
It's not really endless.
I'm just grabbing shit as we're walking through the woods and just like braiding it into the plaid.
It's not actually a magical item.
It's not actually magical. I just make a lot of rope. What? And then, how would my maul look? Like in my head, it's like maybe my original maul broke on something, and I have just I've used my hand axe and chopped down a tree, and I just have a chunk of log on the end of a stick now.
You lost,
or maybe like a branch with a section of trunk still attached to it.
Wow, branch be strong enough?
Ironwood.
Yeah,
magic. See, I can just yell magic and it makes it right.
That's how it works for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. If you just keep yelling loud enough, it's true.
Let's see. For archaeologist. Why is that even an actual search term?
So, are you thinking a rapier, or are you still going to be using the short sword?
I think I forgot to compare.
Because with a swashbuckler, you're probably looking for more like the finesse weapons.
Yeah.
So like a rapier or a scimitar count as finesse weapons, where like a long sword is more like a sort of more of a strength-based weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So they give you some option.
Oh, I'm trying to think of something that'd be character specific. I think a weapon would be good. If not a weapon, something to augment. When we played previously, Ty had very sticky fingers, and I like the idea of him collecting little baubles that maybe aren't necessarily, weapon based, but just augment stats. But I just don't know how I'd go about that, because I know he had a ring that had some basic defense on it or something like that.
Right.
So if there's some kind of item that did something to do a stat boost, I think that would be pretty cool.
So Ty wants bling.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Ty is going to get like a nice 1.5 inch, gold chain going around
with an alarm clock.
No, nothing that tacky with a big diamond dodecahedron, sort of right there at the end.
I honestly don't know what would be good for Arnell because all of the cool shit that you would want for a lore know-it-all style character, she can already do.
Well, then lean into the bard.
I don't know enough about the bard yet. Maybe I can have a magical.
What I'm talking about, by the
That's awesome.
That could be that. I mean, that is definitely a barbarian druid-looking weapon if I've ever seen one.
Thorns on it though, some thorny vines or something instead of nails.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta embellish them.
Poison ivy and briar rose.
I'm okay with brambles. I'm less okay with poison ivy.
And when you let go of
a character trait for me is my hatred of this specific plant.
No, it's got to be poison ivy and briarwood. And when you let go of insect swarm, when you cast that spell, it's ticks.
Oh God!
Oh, this is traumatic. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I'm adding that to the trigger warning now.
This is my no go.
Some people don't like mutilation, and other people don't like ticks.
No. I have been in places where I started dreaming about being covered in ticks because of the amount of ticks.
I have to admit, though, that would be an amazing swarm spell. That would be like
so upsetting.
Especially since you'd have to describe it at least once, and it would just all of us would just be like, yeah.
It would just be me. It would just be me sitting in my chair shivering. Oh God, no!
Please stop describing my spell.
So this is a nice little educational point to anyone watching right now. Don't mention to your GM what your sort of phobias are.
You're the worst. You're just the worst.
It may at some point, sometime, it may be 6 months from now. It may be 10 months from now.
It's not even a phobia. It's just PTSD. Like
you will have killed the final boss. You're walking out. Everything's fine.
You're just covered ticks and
each other, and then you walk through a tick bomb.
Get a tape. Get a tape.
So if we're gonna do that, then my magical thing is going to be a never-ending bottle of permethrin.
What's that? Poison. What do you do with it? I eat it.
I just spray it on everything. Why? Because I have
drink a little. You can never be too careful.
Bathe in it.
Not diving in too much, but you are definitely some of the things you're going to have to do early on is you're going to be heading into a jungle environment where the flora and fauna are hostile. So you are going to have to take precautions before you enter into the woods. I mean,
the flora is hostile.
The flora is hostile as well. I mean, it's D&D. Of course, the flora is hostile.
Well, it's probably good the gnome's not with us then. We just look behind us one day. It'll be like, wait, where's the gnome go? And there's a tree. There's a plant back there.
Now you're going to make me give you guys like a different NPC as a companion every week, just so that you could lose them.
Just lose them.
We just call them short round 1, short round 2.
You don't even get a real name.
I have a name. No, you don't. You're short round 9.
3 episodes in a row. It'll be 3 different ones, but you still call them by the same name because you didn't realize it changed.
Nobody even noticed it's changed yet. I'm not the same person. Oh, you're not?
You sure? I'm pretty sure you are.
You sure you are?
Pretty sure.
Yes. So there's going to be plenty of time for cool. There's going to be a little bit of city adventuring. There's going to be some exploration. And then you might find something to go hang around and traipse through. That's the broadest, non-specific preview I can give the campaign. But it's going to be in jungle, so it's going to be hot. And we're going to have fake Mayan stuff to deal with.
Why is it got to be fake?
Because I don't think these are the real Mayans.
Please raise your complaints with
Right.
They might not even be human. But
why are you saying Mayans? Are they actually Mayans? We're not really going to go deal with Mayans.
But some of the architecture you bump into might look
It's
Why? I mean,
art makes it look at least a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're making pyramids, and as we all know,
Well, that
only
means they're Egyptian.
well, you're right, they're Egyptian because only a single group in the world had come up with the idea of pyramids, and everybody else that's in that group spread out, and that's why there's pyramids around the world. Hyperdiffusionism, right there.
Oh, infestation is actually a cantrip, so I can do it at will.
Yeah,
God.
that is one of the good utility spells for a druid.
But I have to carry around one because of the components.
Yeah,
Isn't that Caduceus's staff?
that's Caduceus' staff. If you're carrying around a big wooden maul, it just got to live inside the wooden maul.
You have to be alive? It just be dead?
It says the component says a living flea, and I'm like, it can be. I suppose it can be whatever your swarm is, but it has to be a living one.
Oh, flea! I mean, you're gonna have plenty of them on you.
Well, I mean, fine, but
You
at least
are the infestation.
We just have a
can it be
tick
possums
buddy.
instead?
But it's your friend. Remember that he's your friend.
Just have a tick
Is
buddy that
possum
hangs out on
a
your
thing
neck
I can turn
right
into?
there. Your tick, it's just right there. It just hangs out right fucking there.
Go back to the old Warner Brothers cartoons, like the ones that are offset by the same people who do Tom and Jerry.
It's just a tiny version of the
Flea
tick.
Circus. You ever see those Flea Circus cartoons in the days?
Just like it's just an action figure of the tick.
If you could make a swarm of the tick, that would be immense.
They're just tiny blue men.
No. You want to be a warlock for that. See, that's where you have the luxury for that. That's a spiritual guardian. Because
that's not what I'm.
Because with spiritual guardian and spiritual weapon, you kind of got leeway to make them whatever your imagination wants them to be.
What were you going to say, Alma?
So I'd like to change my request now to like a +2 deet ring, please and thank you.
Ring.
You're all talking about walking around with bugs. I need protection.
You know they make these things. I'm really tempted to get one. It's just this little box that sits on your pulse point, and it's supposed to be a personal air conditioner. And I'm really tempted to get one and try it. And just walk around
Who
with the air
sells
conditioner.
it?
I don't know. I see it on Instagram, so you know it's reliable.
Like the magnets.
It's not a magnet. It plugs in. It's like a thing. I don't know how it works.
So,
I don't see it staying on my pulse point either. Can you imagine digging and then crack that bitch right there?
It's supposed is it like a box that sits on your wrist?
Yeah, it looks like one of those smartwatches, only instead of sitting on top of your wrist, it's supposed to sit right here where your vein is. And it's supposed to, I mean, I know what it's trying to do. It's the same thing as when you put the scarf around your neck that you soaked in water, only it's doing it on your wrist as opposed to your neck, and it's not wet. What?
The Aircon watch. Is that weird or something like that?
You're asking me too many questions now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's
so one warning to Toma. I got a warning.
No, it's the Ember Wave. No, we're talking about this right now, Bill.
But I'm concerned about the well-being of Tomog.
Oh no!
Why would you? No, quit torturing poor Tomog and his ticks.
No, it's even worse than that.
No,
I'm talking about the history of this party with healers.
With viewers?
Healers.
What about healers?
All of
our
healers have disappeared.
I won't disappear.
We had a druid on the very first campaign 1, who never came back for session 2.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, I remember.
See how long that was? And then our second if we had ever finished playing, you would have woken up the next morning and your cleric would have been gone.
Yeah.
Without explanation. But that's also why you're a druid, because we don't have any healers.
I have a healing spell. I got healing.
Oh yeah, you have healing word as a you got healing word as a.
No, I also have legit heal wounds.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh wait, no, you're right. Healing word. How have I not picked this?
I've got both.
Yeah.
I've got cure wounds and healing word, and I am going the opposite direction from infestation and going with poison spray instead.
Oh yeah, so I can take cure wounds and healing word too. Do I need to?
Sure. Yes. It's called Tomb of Annihilation. Yes.
That's right.
So
If we die, we die in real life.
So sort of metagame it a little bit. Healing word you can do as a bonus action during a game action. So say you're doing combat, an ally is injured, you can then take a bonus action and heal that person in combat, and you don't have to be next to them. Cure wounds is an actual action, and you have to touch them. So there is utility to both. Cure wounds is going to cure more than a healing word will, but for combat, healing word is definitely has utility. I know D&D nerd talk. Why am I bringing that up?
There's a reason I took both.
Well, I'm gonna drop Cure Wounds though, and I'm gonna pick up Bane.
You could. I mean, the beauty of this is that
are you taking a cleric level, or is these are under warlock?
These are bard spells.
Bard, which ironically, I think you will have more, even though you'll be a third level bard, so you probably have more spell slots than you did as a warlock.
I have 5 spells as a second level bard. I think I actually have more bard spells. I think you're right. I have more bard spells than I do warlock.
If you were a full blown 5th level warlock, you would still have 2 slots.
Yeah. No, this is great because I got 2 more cantrips and I got 5 more spells. And yeah, these are, let's see, what did I take? I got Mage Hands, which allows me to identify shit. I got Prestidigitation, which allows me to do all kinds of fun shit. Bane actually makes it, I can cast it on up to 3 creatures that I can see, and it makes it harder for them to attack, basically.
That is a great utility one in combat.
Yeah, I took Healing Word. I took Heroism, which means I can now touch people, and it's a buff. So I touch you, and I imbue you with Bravery. And so you're basically immune to fear, and you gain temporary hit points equal to my spellcasting ability modifier. So I think 2, maybe 3.
It'll grow as you grow.
Still, I mean, sometimes that's the difference between being dead or not.
Speaking of, actually, that's if not a ring of DET, then I think maybe having something like I don't know, something that protects against undead. That would be good.
When is there ever an
what? I mean, archaeologists just go into tombs all the time, right?
What
I mean,
about
with mummies?
Also, Tomb of Annihilation.
What about the cover makes you think that we're going to be bumping anything undead? There's
I mean, that's
other than this like leech, grand leech on the cover of the thing. There's nothing to imply undead.
Nothing at all. No. I mean, that could be something. Maybe that's just an occupational hazard. If you're going in and you're taking pretty grave goods out of context and destroying sites, you might run into a couple of angry undead.
Just context.
I might also look into to see if there's anything for you may also need sunglasses.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, you should probably get like a cloak of sun protection or something.
Yeah.
A very big hat.
The cloak of emo.
The cloak of
the cloak of goth. The cloak of goth. That's what we do.
So I'm trying to.
I saw there's a My Chemical Romance cover band coming to town.
It's a cover band?
There's a cover band for My Chemical Romance coming to town.
Are they old enough to have a cover band?
They are apparently old enough to have a cover band.
I'm old. Wow.
So I'm going through because I get wild shape. I'm trying to figure out what animals to take. Do I just get as many as I any?
No. It's going to be based upon your level and the CR.
I have to have been seen. It has to have been seen before.
You have to have seen it before. It all depends on your CR. The CR
of the animals. I can do so second level. I can do.
So 1 sounds super obvious. I mean, going with your character, 1 would think you'd be super obvious.
Well, the challenge rating is too high. Is the problem?
Oh, you can't be a bear.
On the second level, I can do only do 1/4 CR challenge rating. So I've got. I'm looking at it right now.
Could it be a
So-
trade-off where like you only do bear and that's it?
Well, that would be
Well, what is-
a
hold
that would
on.
be a
What
DM
are they?
discussion on the background.
They're
Yeah.
a 1/2, and I'm not supposed to get that until I think level 4 in. Yeah, I can't get that. I'm not supposed to get that until level 4 in Druid.
So what's so at level 3 or 2 Druid, which is what you're at now. What's the challenge?
So like 1/4. I can do any animal at 1/4. Or sorry, beast. Has to be a beast.
Oh, you're gonna throw Wolfie off so much.
Well, I can actually take wolf.
Be like, Wolfie, you inspired me so much.
All right, so let's see what kind of cool stuff we got. We have the
Velociraptor.
baboon. You could be a baboon.
It could
A
be
badger.
a baboon. Mhm.
A bat.
I'm okay with
Badger.
badger.
Bloodhawk.
Badger.
A boar. You could be a No, camel's too high. No, camel's 1/8, so you could be a camel.
Camel's too high.
No, camel's 1/8, so you could be a camel. So you could be the beast of burden for the party. Everybody just throws their gear.
Well, it
on
can
you.
also be like a draft horse.
A draft horse. Well, we would never have to worry about where we're gonna get a horse to draw the cart next time we get a cart.
You
Or
could
an
be-
ox.
You could
I
be
feel
a
like
cow.
ox is better.
No, a cow. That way everybody get milks. We're just gonna and we'll
Aww.
figure
Nope.
that part. We'll figure that part out later.
Nope, that's weird.
That's weird.
That's a no. That's a no for me.
Hard no.
I'm trying to think of what animals we have seen. We have
You could be a
seen.
deer. You've seen plenty of deer. Mascot would
We have
love
seen-
you if you were a deer.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
deer.
I'll be right
We've seen. I think we have seen cats.
Don't be a rat.
You could be an eagle. An
Have
elk.
we seen any giant? Anything? I can be a giant weasel or a regular weasel.
You could be a frog. Or a giant badger. There we go. Dig some holes.
Giant badger.
A giant crab.
That's a little weird.
Giant frog.
Panther. Panther's only 1/4?
Oh.
Have we seen panthers?
We'll have to talk about what has happened during your times and whether or not
Sheep? Do we have we seen sheep?
Now, I will say though, you have not been in the jungle. This jungle environment will be due to you.
Yeah.
So we're looking at creatures that you would find in sort of the storm coast of Faerun in the Forgotten Realm. So it's more of a temperate to an Arctic climate in there. So it's going to be those kind of creatures. It could be a jackal.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to remove panther.
You could be a mastiff.
Well, jackal's also not like that's desert.
You could be a good boy and be a mastiff.
I could be a good boy. I think I might have to take wolf off and leave in mastiff.
An
No,
owl.
that's not.
An owl would give you great, night vision.
It can't fly.
Oh, you can't take any flying yet. Yeah.
No flying.
No flying, no swimming yet. It's exciting content as we watch it on the screens. Woo!
Yeah. Okay, that's some things. So I'm taking cat, deer, giant badger, mastiff, ox, riding horse, and wolf.
I still say petition just to be a bear, just a bear.
Just a bear, nothing else.
We'll
Yeah.
look at it. I'll look at to see how the rules look, and pop into a couple DM chats that might have gone through this in terms of like druids who have very specific sort of like paths and sort of making it for RP purposes.
What about just like a very small bear?
See the problem. Well, I mean, the realistically, to make it happen, it will have to be a weaker than normal bear.
Oh yeah,
I'll
that's what I mean.
I will have to alter the stats to be more in line with what a 1/4 challenge rating is.
We could just how about we use giant badger, but it's just a very small bear. Just for flavor, it's a very small bear.
That actually does sound like the best option.
Are you seriously going to play a deer?
I'm keeping it on there.
How many forms can you take?
It's any animal that I have seen that is a quarter or lower rating, and I can't take a fly or swim speed.
So yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to reskin the giant badger.
The giant badger is actually just
as a bear. I will look at the attacks to see if we have to switch things around. Obviously, you're not going to be the same kind of digger that a giant badger would be, but in terms of like armor class, and
I think I would still get
and number of attacks. It's going to be
bite and claws.
If it's just bite and claws, that's fine.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's any special.
I get keen smell.
That should also be to the bear.
And multi-attack is 2, which also was bear.
Okay.
As far as I can remember.
Okay, I'll look at that later. I think we bored everyone enough.
Okay.
It's the giant badger. This is much bigger, Jack. We have Jack asking a question. Is this just a badger? No, we're playing a druid, and we're taking Tom's taking the board, and his totem is the totem of the bear. He was a barbarian / druid, and so for RP flavor, he wants to keep the bear motif going, but he doesn't have enough levels yet to take a real bear on here. So I may be over explaining this or explaining it again.
Just like take the badger until you can do the bear. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, we're basically reskinning the giant badger into a bear. So picture a giant badger with his nails trimmed a little better.
No, maybe about the same, just small.
And he's run to a tree. He's run to a tree too many times, so his nose is a little
small bear, just a badger. And then we decided that. All right.
Technically, badgers are just giant weasels, but giant weasels also a thing. So I don't know.
Remember, we're saving all the well-actuallys till first episode. No well-actuallys.
No.
What's that giant rodent? What's the giant rodent? Capybara. Ooh.
No, that's a rat.
But it's
I haven't been in the jungle yet.
Giant lovable rat.
Ooh.
We're going to a jungle. Do you not see the background?
I may need to. I may need to act.
Do you just like spontaneously turn into these things sometime? Can they just like you sneeze and bam, you're a capybara?
Damn it.
Well, considering what you said is that you haven't seen them, so you have not been to a jungle environment. You're going to go to a jungle environment. You're going to encounter a lot of different creatures here. Many of them will be CR rated 1/4 and less. So you will have opportunities to change what you want your wild shape to be based upon the creatures we meet.
All right.
But what I'm asking is he doesn't have to it's not like he can only change into one animal. He can change into any animal at any time that he has ever seen.
I think he has a certain pool.
Okay. So he's only got
the way it's written. The way it's written, a beast that you have seen for, and then I can do it twice per short rest, and that's it. That's all. That's the only.
So yeah, it's pretty wide open. His biggest restrictions right now on level is that he can't pick an animal that swims and he can't pick an animal that flies. Those are only available at higher levels.
Okay. So wow. Okay. So you're like your own zoo.
I am a zoo. Yes, I am. I am the menagerie.
He is the menagerie of the Menagerie Coast.
Tom Menagerie.
Menagerie. That's not where it goes.
No, Menagerie Coast will be a little north of us. When we finally,
I think Caduceus is the menagerie of the Menagerie Coast, but he doesn't really do wild shape.
Because
he's a cleric. He's a cleric,
not a druid. Even though he can shrink himself and go invisible.
Right.
I'm just fascinated watching Amadra.
Which are fearball things?
Furball, yes.
Yeah.
My favorite new character on.
Where'd the dog go?
Oh, in the sketch. Gonna add in just
okay. It's like he was there a second ago.
All right,
call the layer, Tamog. He's on another layer.
He's on another layer. Let the artist
work.
I'm looked away. Trying to goth Aranel out.
You guys joke about this. The next time we play this game, I'm showing up with my goth look. It will be painful.
Tentacles here.
Well, you always need tentacles.
They're coming out of my ass.
But fuchsia and teal.
Fuchsia and teal.
Fuchsia and teal.
Aren't the things they're supposed to be? Maybe they're wings.
There you go. Tentacle wings. This is
tentacle wings. That makes me feel gross.
It should. It should.
I don't like that concept.
Never mind. What it reminds me of. That'll be Rituals Rolled After Dark, coming exclusively to.
Different thing.
I'm not.
I don't know what platform will actually allow us to host that.
Not this one.
Because I'm like, YouTube has standards, Twitch, no standards.
I'm kind of surprised like RedTube doesn't have, or YouPorn or whatever it is these days, doesn't have a streaming service like that where we could. You know what? We're just gonna stop that thought right there.
Stop that thought, because the answer is probably yes, and we don't want to go down
that. They probably do.
Yeah. I'm just gonna. Don't shout encouragements from the kitchen.
So yes, that'll be the after. Once this becomes a hit series, for the more adult crowd, we'll have the after hours.
Wow.
Terrifying. Wow, we all walked into that one, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
I sauntered in casually.
And then sauntered back out.
I'm gonna go.
This isn't where I park my car.
So with Ty, if that is your name,
well, you should put a name on it.
What background have you been playing around with currently?
You mean
The player background.
That wouldn't be considered specialty, right? Are we talking just like flavor text, or are we talking
the one you click on, flavor background, which gives you additional stats?
Oh, let me
stuff like the archaeologist or the Tom. What's your?
I think I did our homebrew CRM one.
Okay.
I think
it's under description in the character creation thing.
I think what I ended up doing is that I looked at Smuggler, and I did not like what it offered because it has a seafaring element to it.
Right.
That I didn't think would.
There is straight up criminal.
Even I'll look at that as well, but I ended up taking archaeologist, if only because if he is a Tomb Raider, for lack of a better term, then I guess archaeologist would also fit.
You could also just be straight up noble.
Ow. Thanks, Alma.
Well, I'm talking about in-game archaeologist like stats and whatnot, and
no, it's just funny. I guess if he's gonna be a Tomb Raider, archaeologist fits.
You could be a classic former soldier. You could be a street urchin who's worked their way up.
That's true.
So there's a couple different options to work off there.
Absolutely. I'll go back and look. I don't think I spent too much time on that part of it, honestly, but I did. I looked briefly. Like I said, I thought Smuggler would be the one to fit, and like I said, it's just too closely linked to seafaring, and that wasn't the route.
Double check to see if like the benefits are also seafaring. If they are, that might not work. But if the benefits aren't necessarily seafaring, you could definitely change it up for flavor.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that the benefits had a seafaring. Let me pull it up if I can. Edit.
Let's see.
Swashbuckler for the rogue just fits because I wanted I wanted to go less magic and I wanted to go more attack based. So, and I think of what little experience I have with rogues and what reading I did, that the Swashbuckler was highly recommended.
That's a very good melee attack, especially if it's not as like an assassin, which is like very much based on stealth. With a Swashbuckler, you could face up an opponent and still have a good benefits and fighting chance with good damage. Let's see, you could be a former city watch or an investigator who's gone rogue.
Yeah. So here under the Smuggler, it's like rickety barges and fish barrels and dock masters and river boats. That was just.
Here's one I like. A charlatan.
Was that on the list?
It's in the player handbook, yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I missed that because that's what Ty originally had in the first game, and
Yeah.
I don't know why I kept missing it.
Yeah, Charlatan might work. I mean, look it over. We got some time on that.
You can be
But then
Scott.
again,
You
if
can be
you-
Walter.
If you do go into archaeologists, some of the personality traits are like fame is more important to me than money, and what is it?
Walter.
That's when you become a forensic archaeologist.
Oh, hey.
Finding the secret of everlasting life.
That's
Tom,
Hancock.
if you want to, Tom, you can go be an anthropologist and wear a bear mask at all times.
Ooh, maybe.
I have to wear masks.
I was
No,
actually
that's-
thinking about
that is
going
only one of
pirate.
the faults. There's
Oh,
What?
that is the mask thing is only one of the faults of an anthropologist.
I'm trying to look. I was looking at the. No, because one of them is boats make me seasick, which doesn't make any sense.
I talk to myself and don't make friends.
Oh, they actually have colonialism built into this.
what?
Oh, neat.
I believe that I'm intellectually superior to people from other cultures and have much to teach them. Is one of the
Nice.
flaws.
Oh.
Yeah, and one of the flaw I'm referring to, I mentioned before in what Bill's talking about. I wear a tribal mask and never take it off.
So one of those people, and if you've ever been around enough anthropologists, you know those people.
And all the normal anthropologists just try to ignore them. All right, so
complain about everything, or you've
You're
picked.
gonna get some comments.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
good.
making
Okay.
friends.
Good. If it gets the people going.
We're going to be edgy. We're going to be controversial.
Are we just going to start insulting people? Yeah, geologists too.
Yeah.
I don't have
No,
anything
I like
against
geologists. Most of the geologists I know are actually much better scientists than most archaeologists. I know.
geologists. Walter.
Most of them, except that one. But is he though? I mean,
not-
a geologist.
We're not saying that online.
He is?
No.
We're not saying that live.
No.
No.
Oh wait, we did.
Tom's like, no, I'm gonna go there.
No, he's a geologist. I mean, it's the same question of once you have a degree in archaeology, does it make you an archaeologist?
Oh god, let's not start that argument.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a difficult question to answer, and I'm not saying that he is not, but I don't know what he does as a geologist.
I know, but implying that by having the degree you are not actually of the field implies that there are other standards and traits that you must possess that are actually, which thereby implies you don't actually need the degree to be the thing.
Is it well? Here's the question then: does having the degree make you an archaeologist, or does doing it as a profession make you an archaeologist?
Let's see. Do you need the degree to do the profession?
You need training. I don't know about a degree, but you need training.
That's it. Well, but in today's day and age, you can't just go to a trade school and learn archaeology. Like you can't just learn archaeology and go work in the field. You have to have at least a BA anymore, or people won't even consider hiring you unless you have an in.
All right. I'm making notes here. This is definitely going to be on the next episode of Still Digging, which will be next Wednesday, special night. Next Wednesday here on the ArchaeoRPG YouTube channel will be episode 3 of Still Digging. It'll be the special because the 17th is hashtag Ask an Archaeologist Day, and we are going to be here as Ask Archaeologists. So please ask us questions, leave comments with questions on the channel, follow us on the social medias, and ask us any questions you might have. And we'll definitely try to address as many as we can during that show on there. But I think this is just a preview, and we're going to go through that topic in much more detail and name names. And
Is that you telling me to stop talking about the topic?
I'm just trying to keep it focused on.
Yeah. Anyway, back to character creation.
Or if you want much more in-depth Scott Walter talk, hop on over to the Archie Fantasies channel, where every week-ish, Archie Fantasies and a special expert guest
You have in the last couple times, though. I didn't know anything about Bigfoot.
Watch an episode of Scott Walter's America Unearthed. Now, you can't see it because we are firmly believers of copyrights, but you get to watch us watch it and react to it. And we will
hear it. I mean, because I think that falls under fair use because we are commenting and using it as critiquing and educational purposes. So, I mean, I think I could make an argument for showing the video, but I don't want to I don't want to push.
I think only in small clips.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. I'm not sure what the small clips are.
we haven't been challenged yet, and we may have to change the format.
Yeah, that's what I figure. When somebody finally says something, when I finally get an official letter from someone, then I will be like, oh, okay. Empty threats via email is not going to work. So,
but if you want more in-depth Scott Walter discussion, that's the
true.
place to go.
That's true.
So, any other?
We are currently the driving force behind all America Unearthed chatter. So I don't know if I should be proud or ashamed of that.
I mean, it's better than just accepting it wholesale.
No, I know. It's just but if I stop doing it altogether, would it just go away?
Well, that was something that was interesting because a lot of people were sharing that image of ancient aliens recently, and it just reminds me of that whole kimono thing that Kim Kardashian did. It's just no publicity is bad publicity. You're getting the name out there. So in talking about ancient aliens, people are kind of making it prevalent. So is it good to talk about these things? It's an interesting discussion.
Is this the reference about the ancient texts say that we were created by? It's so bad.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Let's not. Or do it. You know what? Do it.
No. I can bring this back though. We're going to be encountering these kind of themes in this game.
Yes, both the ones that are baked into this game. And just like Country Bob might be showing up, some fool with big tall hair who claims to have knowledge from ancient texts might be showing up. A someone claiming to be a professional who isn't really quite as professional as they should be is going to perpetuate ideas of other cultures maybe having been on this land. In the past, so some of those characters may pop up as NPCs and flavor throughout this campaign, and then we get to stab them in the eyes.
Maybe.
Oh, we cannot make illusions.
We will try diplomacy first.
Cannot make references to violence. Anyway.
There's one more thing we can talk about. Speaking of the top, how many people we're going to be stabbing, is whether or not we want to adapt the code of ethics. The No Man's Sky Archaeological Survey, which
Andrew
Reinhardt, the author of Archeo Gaming, conducted this, and not just him, Megan, and a few others.
Megan Dennis, Tara Copplestone, Andrew Reinhardt, myself. We had another ethics person.
Yeah, but a code of ethics was devised for that because they were conducting it as an archaeological survey. So they set up rules. I've been go back to cheap plugs. I've been attempting to adapt that on the fly for the Archeo Thoughts Plays series. I just had my second episode today in Fallout 3 and Fallout 3, where I made my first ethical problem, where a group of scavengers attacked me. I killed a few that were attacking me, but I made a mistake of then intruding further as opposed to taking the hint and moving away. So that's the kind of ethical things to think about. Is are we, it's one thing to defend yourself in a game, and how much do we want to be provocative? It's the kind of things to think about, I mean, both as archaeologists, but also since this one is going to be different. We're not completely doing an archaeological survey of this campaign. We're kind of doing it afterwards. But these are still going to be characters within the campaign.
Well, I guess that's going to have to be part of our episode 1 thing of why are we going where we're going,
Right.
Yeah.
and what does that mean?
But so I think a code of ethics is more something to bake into the backgrounds of the different characters, of both why they're motivated to do what they do and why they're motivated to be part of this thing. And that I think will lead to sort of some of their ethical decisions, plus their alignments.
Here's a weird question: is CRM provocative in the same sense as what you're talking about here? Like all right, so areas that people don't want you to go to, dig stuff up or whatever. If you work on like a utility job or something like that, often you are working on people's private property without really their permission, but instead maybe a permit, at the behest of somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, during the game, your characters will act on the situations in the best method of their characters, and then the after show we can go into whether this was really a gray area, and we can discuss why these are gray areas even within the real world of archaeology, where you've been contracted to survey this entire area. It's by some sort of easement, which gives the, like, say, a utility corridor permission to do that. But a particular landowner whose land you're going over doesn't appreciate you walking through there and being destructive to them. So we could talk about those kinds of issues, or access issues. Many places don't have direct access, so you have to go through people's property to get to where you need to be, and those people might not appreciate that. So,
right,
we'll cross those bridges as we get to them.
And you hold your permit up and wave it at them, and they shoot at you anyway.
I mean, that's why you get permits, so that they can shoot at you, right?
That's what the permit says. So, I have feelings about land agents. The end. Let's move on.
I have opinions. The end.
I have opinions about this. I should probably keep to myself. Let's move on.
I should say hi to my friend. Hi, Raya. Sure, she came all the way here to listen to us, okay?
Yay.
She's from the Philippines. Her and Abba are on the same time.
I don't know what time I'm on anymore.
You're on grad school time.
That's true.
Is the sun up?
I haven't opened my shade yet, so I
It's
can't.
best not to ask. Your times are now conscious time and not conscious time.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
Most of my times are not conscious times, to be perfect.
I wish.
I don't know, considering you've only been up for 2 hours and you've got this picture drawn, I'm pretty impressed.
So now that we're coming up and we're about 13 minutes away from being on 2 hours. Is there anything that we haven't touched on yet that you kind of wanted to have questions, either like pre-gaming questions, character questions, equipment questions?
Are costumes going to be mandatory?
Not mandatory.
I am not wearing a costume.
All you do is take your shirt off.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
No. They're standards. You can't. The nipple is not free on you. Well, I don't know about YouTube. I know it's not free.
We're just making it worse because now I'm just like, if it's just a nipple thing, we can get him some furry pasties.
I got enough fur.
I'll just wear my DM T-shirt and have a cool background.
I do like
buy a cool T-shirt.
I'll probably have a different background for each episode. Maybe something thematic.
If you give me time, I can come up with stuff.
Ooh.
Don't say that, because then you'll just get bombarded with all these requests. Can you do this?
I try my best not to. I know how busy she is. I'm not.
I like doing it too, though. So.
Everything you do is appreciated, and we will ask you nothing that you can't do.
And I will be honest with you. If I don't think I can do it, I will be completely upfront and say, not this time.
Good. So speaking of which, do you have field school in August?
Yes, thank you. That was something that I didn't want to bring up. So I am going to be going to be helping with the field school from August. I think it's the 5th until the 25th. I'm going to be off island in a tiny remote spot where I don't know what my internet connection is going to be like, but I can still try to work with that.
Okay, because during the month of August, I would like to keep still digging going.
Okay.
Every other week, we'll just have you on hiatus during that time, and whoever else can't make it during different weeks. And I was half thinking during maybe 1 or 2 of the off weeks, which would be like the week here, this kind of week, of maybe doing some live play video games, like with the Tomb of Annihilation video game.
There's a Tomb of Annihilation video game.
Yes, it's based upon the board game. They merchandise the hell out of this campaign.
Oh, wow.
It's just a weird sort of just random jungle battles over and over again. So I don't think it'll be too much in the way of spoilers of the plot of the game. I'll try to play some this weekend to make sure, and I'll see whether or not it's something that we could play together. If not, I can always set up the play with the chat over top of it and have commentary as I'm playing. So there's nothing more fun than to have like people backseat video game playing.
Nah.
So we kind of do that. It's sort of during the off week. It's sort of like, hey, we're still here, but it'll be nothing serious. So let us know in the comments if those sound like good ideas, or you'd rather us just take our time, prep up for episode 1, and get it off right in September.
I'm afraid to even play this because then it'll ruin the game for me completely. All gone. No points.
Well, it's don't worry. Any spoilers you might have on this just means I have to like change it on the fly.
Ooh.
I am the DM. Just because it's written in the book doesn't mean I have to play it that way. Dun dun dun.
I don't know. Like, I always look like I'm looking, because I'm looking at our little faces and I forget to look at the camera.
See, even the drawing you is not looking at the camera.
Just off to the side.
Giving us the side eye.
We'll do something now. Are you anticipating the gameplay to be just player based, or are you guys preferring more narrative or like RP based gameplay?
I like character-driven RP more than I like hack and slash, but that's my personal opinion. I can play both if I have to.
Okay.
But I have magical talking skills now, so just FYI.
I mean, my character is built for the hack and slash.
That's true.
So,
That's
I mean, I like the character because that allows more of the archeo and anthro to sort of seep in, even where it's not written. You can throw it in there, but it's still a game. People are watching. Part of the people watching this are watching this to watch Dungeons and Dragons, which means we're going to need to kill some stuff once in a while.
I mean, we will kill some stuff. That is not a problem.
So I think we're going to have both. I think it's I don't know if we're going to go full Critical Role where we have the shopping episodes.
No, I love shopping episodes.
We might. If you guys,
that can be part of the RP.
If that's
considering we have already had at least 2 shopping episodes in the little one-shot gaming thing that we were running.
We did?
Yeah, you missed out on that.
Yeah, I don't think you were here for either of them.
Did we?
You were just there for the drunken binge.
Yeah, because you were like, I gotta go
and
fit my armor, and like, then there was that bear
shield thing that's
dragging around with you, and we were like, no, you can't go in the inn with that.
You have to cure that. Yeah. Okay. There was that.
So yeah, no, there's going to be shopping potential. So yeah, you want shopping episodes? There'll be shopping episodes. I have to figure out within a month whether or not I can do anything besides a really offensive Southern accent. As far as my accents go,
wasn't that offensive?
It's a Southern accent. They'll probably love it. Which part of the South?
The Boss Hog of Dukes of Hazzard South.
The deep South.
We're going to get them Duke boys.
That's
What
not
was
the,
that?
that's not the right one.
No, because he was a little more drawn.
Yeah.
He was a little more drawn than
It was a
Ned.
little. It was a little Georgia.
Yeah, because the other one was more Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Yeah, that was. You were heading towards Kentucky there.
Oh my, that's another thing. My accents will drift. If I do accents, they will drift.
Will they drift like continents?
Yeah.
I'll let that one go.
Some of
I'll
them
allow
will be
this.
continents that don't exist anymore. Wait till I pull out my Salutrian.
Moo.
They existed. They just didn't exist in here.
Salutrians existed.
I know. I take
Here.
that back. The Atlanteans.
Yeah.
Salutrians existed because they are the Atlanteans. Ergo, Atlanteans existed. By the way, they're
No,
also
they're just-
Denisovans.
What?
You know what? I definitely see.
You gotta spend time in Graham Hancock's head for a while.
So I'm already, we haven't even started the season yet, but I'm thinking around Halloween, we need to do a full-on pseudo archaeology one-shot.
We're not doing that?
No, we need to. We need to do that.
Oh, then we're not doing it.
It might not even be campaign related. I don't know if I could shoehorn that in a campaign, but a special one-shot.
Okay, so for the pseudo archaeology, then is it just like is it archaeologists in a pseudo archaeology setting, or is it us versus pseudo archaeologists?
You go to a bar. Here's
Us
the
versus.
setup.
I don't want to give too much
We
away.
go to a bar. There's
No,
pseudo archaeologists at one of the tables. We're at a different table. We start yelling at each other and then throw bottles.
Well, my right now, the idea goes one of two ways. It's either going to go full Call of Cthulhu, all the people who've been peddling shit are right, or we go full Scooby Doo, and it's a guy in a mask.
I'm always up for
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
I like the Scooby Doo.
I just got.
Now
But
you
we
got
should know ahead of time.
Now I got to
I
find
just
out if there's Scooby Doo role playing.
For Scooby-Doo
There
and some of my
probably
OCs.
is.
I'm going to
There's-
go online and look for Scooby Doo. I'm sure there's a homebrew somewhere.
I know you have to look that hard.
There's a monster of the week,
Oh yeah, there's a Monster of the Week.
which
That's
might
true.
work for that. But that's more Call of Cthulhu. They are right-ish.
Now I don't mind it if it turns out to be right, but they're completely wrong. Like they're talking aliens and they're talking Celts, but it's actually great old ones, interdimensional beasts who don't care about humans at all, who are
Yes.
actually the cause of this, and
Just
like
completely authentic.
and tear them apart from the inside out type of thing.
I mean, that is pretty much how the Lovecraft stuff goes, right? Like that's.
We've gone dark.
Take it out.
All right. So, is anything else anybody has?
So we want like 19-page background stories. That's what we decided on.
Yes, by next week.
To start off,
next week. I don't have time for that.
Then you're not a real gamer. Sorry,
I've got.
Tom.
Well, all right.
just give me your most recent Phase 1 report, and that will be your background.
Oh boy. I don't. They don't even let me write reports anymore. I'm just in the field at all times.
Let you write.
I
What
can't-
did you do?
Nothing. I'm just efficient in the field. So now all of my notes just get handed off to somebody else to write, and they send me back out in the field.
I'm sorry, Tom.
This is my life.
Hey, at least
I've
you're active.
brought this upon myself.
Because you got those
I
magical
mean-
MA after your name now, don't you?
Not in the good way though. For the activeness, it's like all of my joints fall apart kind of activeness. I dislocated something in my hand in the past couple days, and my elbow makes a new noise now. I don't know what that's about.
Are we all just slowly falling apart?
It turns out if you use a shovel to in the function of a dig bar, it hurts a lot.
Like it took you
So
this
don't
long
do
to
that.
figure that out?
Well, yeah.
It's like, yeah. Wow. All right.
I was fine right up until about 28, and then shit just started just falling off.
That's what they tell me. They're like, yeah, but the 30s is when it all starts to just come apart.
I want
Literally.
I want that sort of same level of attention to self to be brought to Tomog.
My knee makes a new noise. What that is? Hey, does anybody else make a weird clicking noise when they like scratch their head?
I want him to be the guy who like walks up to a tree at least once a day to knock his shoulder back into socket.
I don't. It's not. It's not outer joint. It just sits a little weird sometimes, and you have to like.
It's kind of catty corner joint.
It's a little bit off. This is the one I had put back together.
All right. Well, I think on that note, we should go ahead and wrap it up for tonight for episode 0. For everyone,
This is going into my backstory.
You got a sort of a brief introduction to our characters.
One of 19.
Obviously, all things are subject to change. A little bit of flavor for the kind of campaign this is going to be. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions about any of that stuff, please. Even after this is done, the comments will still be open. You can comment to the regular video once it's finally been posted.
And ask an archaeologist
shot of the team.
Yes, send us questions.
This is
send us questions for us. Yeah.
This is the team of Ritual and Rolls. I don't know what their group name will be. They'll figure that out themselves.
Denny Sovens.
It could be the Denny Sovens, as long as you got consensus among the three of you. I mean, if the Waffle Crew can work.
The what?
Waffle Crew can work as a group name. The Denny Sovens.
How did that?
Nice camera action. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was. It was something about they were going out for waffles.
We're at time now. So let's all say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
All together.
And yes, thank you for everyone. This has been a very active chat for us tonight, and thank you for everyone who's participated. We truly appreciate everything that you're have said to us tonight. We're taking it to heart, and you are definitely one of the reasons we're doing this. We want people to watch us.
Thanks, Jake. We're glad we're lots of fun.
Yes.
Thanks, Araya, for coming. Thank you, Cara, for commenting.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you all. And
Bye,
for anyone who
Cara.
didn't comment, who came, we thank you too. So until next time, we will see you all later. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.